Good morning, my lovely friends. It's Simone Thu here, and my computer clock says it's exactly, computer clock says it's 11:01. How awesome is that? My phone is, my watch is obviously not the right time. So welcome. Thank you all so much for joining me here for Coffee and Conversation here on Facey. I hope you're all traveling well, and I thought, part of my contribution during all of this uncertainty is to take an opportunity to come online and just share some insights, to share some perspectives from what I'm sensing, but also to just have a chat. So if you have anything that you'd like me to talk about, I'd love you to share it in the comments. Now, I have to share something really cool with you. So my hubby Brad is working here from home, and so he's been watching my lives, and he was aware that, I got rather emotional yesterday due to the death of a dear friend that I just had heard about only a couple of hours earlier. And so I had tears and, mopping them up and still talking and everything. And I said to him today, I'm not going to cry, okay? I'm not going to cry today. But, bless him, he's given me a little gift. Isn't he the absolute best? And it made me giggle, and it's like, okay, thank you, just okay. But like I said, I'm not going to cry today. But it's life, isn't it? It's what happens, and it's part of this great big messy puzzle that we're in right at this moment. And so it is what it is. And particularly when you're doing a live video, you just have to roll with what shows up. And for me, that's actually very much always been a part of my, I suppose, my particular messaging in my business is about being authentic, about being real, and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, because that's how people connect with you. If people feel that you're showing your true self, they're more willing to engage. And that's true regardless of pandemics. It's true regardless of anything else that might be going on in the world. So I was reflecting this morning to see what I could share today that might be helpful. And I thought that maybe one of the things that I would talk about is your creative practice, and how appropriate, Lexi, that you're on. Awesome, synchronicity, isn't it? And I wanted to share a little project that I worked on, and it was probably, let me see, 2010. I think this was launched in 2015. So this is my book. Okay, so I don't know if you can see the title there without too much flair on it. It's called Every.Day.Presence, The Art of Being Visible. And what I actually created this because I mentioned the other day that I'm a mad keen amateur photographer. I just love taking photos. And I decided 5 years ago that I wanted to put together an inspirational book, something that would help people to take a moment to breathe, to just be in the space of being present. And the title came to me really quickly, which is, here we go again, trying to look the right thing, Everyday Presence, and the art of being visible. And, I think that that's incredibly important at the moment. The presence piece is incredibly important. And so the book, this is actually the first edition. The second edition is actually a little bit, has more in it, but I think I sold them all, so I don't have any other copies. But essentially has all of my photos in it. Well, I'm not doing that very, very gracefully, but hey, what the hell. So it has my photos in it, and it has little statements and all of my own photographs. So all of the photographs in the book, let me do it the right way, pictures that I have taken, and I can tell you the exact moment when I took those pictures. I know exactly where I was. So for instance, that picture that I just showed you of a leaf on the sand was at Burleigh Head Beach. And so for me, every time I look at this, it takes me to that moment in time and allows me to just stop for a moment and anchor. And so So there's a couple of pieces around this that I wanted to share today that just felt like may be helpful to those of you who are watching. And thank you so much to all of you, Lexi and Margaret and Anne and Sue and Vanessa. Lovely to have your company. Thank you so much. If you missed the little piece I said right at the beginning, I'm all prepared. My beautiful Brad has given me, hang on, let me get the camera right. Because of the last 2 Facebook Lives, I've had tears. So he's got me all prepped. I had promised I'm not going to do any tears, but isn't he the most gorgeous man? Anyway, so on to Everyday Presence. Now, one of the reasons I created this book when I did was that I just felt that it was so important for us to take time to be with ourselves. So what I thought I might do for you today is to actually read a little bit about that and then explain a little bit more about what I'm going to do actually over the next week or so. And so I'm going to actually read to you, apparently. I didn't realize I was going to do this, but, you know, that's the fun and joy of Facebook Live, huh? Brad is an angel, Lexi. I totally agree. He absolutely is. So I'm going to read to you the prologue about presence and why I feel that maybe this is a really pertinent message for our time. Now, I've always been what I suppose you might call a futurist. I've created programs ever since I started in business back in 2009. I've created programs, and some of them have been hugely successful, and others it's kind of like people put their toe in the water and then nothing much happens. And over time, I realized that I've been creating for the future. I don't know if any of the rest of you are aware of that, or that you might do that with the work that you create, that you create something, you've created something 3 years ago. In this case, the book was 5 years ago. And it feels like it's really, really pertinent for right now. So that's another part of I need to write that point down because I want to come back to that, which is like, what have you got in your portfolio that you could maybe reintroduce into your life? Anyway, to get back to Everyday Presence. So I'm just going to read to you what I wrote about my introduction to the concept of presence. So my journey to understanding the concept of presence has been underscored by my years of experience, both on stage and off. I've been involved in some form of theatre for most of my adult life as an actor and a singer, and as a director-producer of comedy, drama, music theatre, and opera. And the question I am most often asked is, what is presence? And how do I create it? You see, we are captivated by presence as if it was something out of our reach. Despite media hype to the contrary, it is not the province of the famous. There are plenty of everyday people with presence, and it requires nothing more from any of us than taking a moment to just breathe and to be ourselves. We are consciously and unconsciously aware of people with presence. We find them compelling, authentic, engaged, and in the moment. Presence, however, is not a skill you develop. It is not a layer you add. Rather, it is a taking away of what no longer serves you, of what is holding you back from your life and your ability to engage authentically. Presence comes from within, a deep knowledge of who we are. It is a certainty, an embracing of all that you are and can be. It is about being all that you can be, your gifts, talents, and abilities, and your unique voice. Presence is the art of being visible. So the premise of this book is that being present in our lives is as simple as paying attention. And all of the photos I used in this book came about because I was present with my environment, walking mindfully, capturing colours, feelings, and the very essence of presence. When we are fully engaged in the present, living moment to moment, we become more visible, authentic, and connected. So wouldn't now be the perfect time? So discover for yourself the 7 scripts for everyday presence. And there's the photo that is on that page. And me in the photo. Oh, this is just too silly for words, isn't it? So that photo was taken on the beach in Mackay when I was directing Sound of Music up there. And I went up there and I lived up there for 3 weeks while I was directing the musical. And so every evening, either on a weekend when we finished rehearsals or as often as possible during the week, I would try to get to the beach so that I could just chill and I could just expand and just calm down, really. So, and over that process, that was part of the beginning of that awakening of like understanding, well, this is such a powerful piece for us right now. And so I'm going to take you through the book, not all of it. That's not necessarily, it's not kind of like bedtime reading, but you know, like little things like this: your presence is requested, sincerely, your life. And I think that this is one of the things that right now we can really tap into. How do I want to be present in the world? What can I do? Or rather, not the doing, what can I be? Who can I be that would allow my presence to shine right now, to allow me to be visible, and so that my tribe can find me? Because there will be people looking for you. And this isn't necessarily whether you're in business and you're kind of thinking, oh my God, I have no business anymore. This is for all of us. This is about all of us showing up and finding different ways to connect and finding different ways to engage with each other. So, for example, we have some dear friends that we try and catch up with like every 2 or 3 weeks. They're kind of isolated in their, not isolated, they're still actually going to work. Their workplaces are still open, but we're voluntarily choosing not to go out and have dinner with people and do all of that. We're choosing to isolate at the moment. And so I sent them a message in the early evening saying, let's catch up and have a virtual wine together on Facebook Messenger. And that's what we did. We just both hopped on our phones and connected at Facebook Messenger. You can do video, and it's really, really simple. And so we had our glass of wine and we talked about what was going on for us. And it helps to allay rather some of those fears. It helps you to remain connected, and it was so much fun. And so we set ourselves a challenge for the next time we catch up. So we'll do that like a weekly, because in fact we'll probably catch up even more frequently because we can do it online. And we set ourselves a challenge that we have to change our backdrop for the next one, because they're great travelers. Brad and I love traveling, and of course none of that's available right now or appropriate. So we challenged ourselves to actually set up a background to make it look like we're somewhere exotic, or, you know, the beach or whatever. I've got a beautiful blank wall behind me that I'm sure I can be really creative with. So, but that's just one way. So I invite you to really explore the options, like what can you do that can help you stay connected with the people you really care about, so that you have a presence in their life and that they have a continual presence in yours as well. And it doesn't have to be through Facebook. It can literally be that you send text messages. You know, WhatsApp is really great for that, because you can also video through that, and you can have little chat groups, which is also a really simple way of doing creating connections, you know, with your work buddies, things like that. So one of the things, I keep saying one of the things and then I go on and talk about a whole heap of things. So another thing that I wanted to talk about. So as part of the book, Everyday Presence, and I'm having a feeling that I'm going to be republishing this, so I'm just going to read a couple of the quotes, okay, it's this one apparently. So this is by a Chinese philosopher called Lao Tzu, Lao-Tzu. So I'm just going to read you this little quote, and then I'm going to leave you with something that I would like you to play with for the next 24 hours. So here's the quote. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment. Not seeking, not expecting, she is present and can welcome all things. Isn't that beautiful? I just love that. And to me, so there you go, there's the photo. Now, it's probably a little hard to see, but the photo is another beach photo because I love the beach. And so the background of this is just sand ripples. And again, I just happened to see the pattern of the sand and stopped for a moment and just looked at it and went, oh, this is so beautiful. It's so peaceful. It's so relaxing. And that's the thing about presence. When we're fully in the moment, and I love that part about, I think this first line is so opposite of what's happening right now. Do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Now, there's a heck of a lot of stirring up of the mud, stirring up of all kinds of things that makes the way forward really, really unclear at this moment. So what is that suggesting is patience. Okay, patience in all things. And God knows I'm one of the least patient people I know, but I'm learning to practice patience because things cannot unfold in the way that I thought my year was going to unfold. It looks nothing like I thought my year was going to be. And so instead of getting caught up in all of the things that we've lost, what if we just take the moment? Yeah, Tracy, if we don't have the patience, we better learn fast. Absolutely. And what can really help us with that is being present in every moment. Now, I know it's really hard to do that 24/7. You know, we're not Buddhist monks sitting there chanting Om and just breathing and being. It's really challenging, I know, to be patient. But I think this is a time for us all to tap into that wonderful attribute. And just think, you know, if we can tap into that, if we can be really present with what is right at this moment in time. And I did talk about that yesterday. I talked about, you know, working from where your feet are planted right now, not looking behind at everything that's led to this point, but just working with where we are right now and recognizing that we need to have patience for the way ahead. And not only with ourselves, but with everyone else, all of the people who we connect with on a daily basis, or even less frequently than that. Having patience for the people and compassion for the people who might try and push ahead of you in those queues, or just having patience that things will that the mud will settle over time and that the way will become clear. I love that particular quote, and I think it's so valid for us right at this moment in time. If you like, I will type that up and put it in the bottom of the chat. In fact, I'll make a meme out of it and I'll share it on social media, because I think it's a great anchoring piece. Don't you feel the sense of that? It's a great anchoring piece. Patience is a great anchoring piece for us, as is presence. And then the other, there's a whole heap of things I want to share, but I'm not going to share the whole book today, but I'm going to share some more of the book tomorrow. So this is particularly appropriate as well, and goes hand in hand with patience and being present. And that is about stillness. And this is actually my own quote, not someone else's. Stillness speaks. And in those moments of stillness, your life whispers, I am here. And there's the photo that I took. I'm not doing really well with show and tell here, am I? I'm glad it's a big screen. Stillness speaks. And in those moments of stillness, your life whispers, I am here. So what does that mean? So what do you think it means? Do you want to tell me in the chat? I'd love something. Oh, yeah. Self-reflection and peace within yourself. Thank you, Christelle. Yes. Hi. And Wendy, lovely to have your company too. So stillness, again, it's like that sense of, allowing that sense of calm to wash over you. And today I actually tagged this post to say, you know, a little slice, a little piece of calm, because I think, you know, if we can take, you know, think of this as your daily meditation with me, if you like, where you just you take some time and you just stop. You stop what you're doing, you take a moment to engage, you take a moment to feel, you take a moment to be still. And to me, the stillness is about recognizing that we need to let go of that busy, busy, busy. We need to let go, because God knows we have no control right now, do we? So we need to let go of any feelings of scurry or hurry or busy or must-dos and stuff like that. So the stillness that we are currently being invited to is a beautiful creative space. And that was part of the reason why I decided to actually share information to that I had written about, you know, for, all these years ago, that I had written about finding those opportunities to be present with your life, to be still. And Chriselle, yes, absolutely, time to catch up with things, but to do it in a way that brings you joy, that actually lightens your day, so that it doesn't become another must do. Sure, I'm sure we all have like a list of things. Oh, I'm going to do all of these things around the house. I've been promising to tidy my office all week, and it's going to happen. It'll happen over the next couple of days. And that's, hope Brad's not watching, because he's going to come and hold me to that now. Cheeky. But the thing is, like, stillness provides the opportunity to just let all of those things that we're holding, all the things we're holding so tight to us, because we don't want to let them go, because we think once we let them go, life will never really be the same. But life is not the same anymore anyway. So what if you were to just allow yourself to be still for a moment and listen to those whispers of your life, and ask your life, like, what do you want to look like? So, you know, beyond the beyond that is available to us right now, beyond all of that, what would you like your life to look like and to feel like? You know, maybe the business you've been in isn't really the business you wanted to be in, and this is an opportunity to really look at that and to take time with yourself, to be still with yourself, and to allow yourself to just sit in that space. And so when you do that, I think that you have the opportunity to be more creative. So it creates space for different things to show up, for you to maybe tap into something that you used to love. And I've mentioned this a couple of times on the Facebook Live, tapping into something that you've loved to do and you don't really have time to do anymore. So, you know, it's quite possible there's another book in store for me, because heaven knows, since that I published this one in 2015, I've probably taken another 25,000 photos. So it might be a really, really big book. Or it might be a really skinny book too. So I'm going to share with you just one final piece today, which is one of what I call the 7 scripts that I actually put in this book. So I'll just give you an example. Hang on, let me get this right. That worked. So this is the 7 scripts. So for 7 days, I'm going to invite you to explore one of these. Now, I'm only going to do it Monday to Friday, because I think there's still this energy of weekends are not about, weekends are for relaxing. So I'm going to adhere to that. I know that our work life is not the same any longer, but I am going to, yeah, I miss hugs too. I just saw your post, Christelle. I'm going to share one of these every day. So for the next 7 days, excluding Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to do another one tomorrow, and then the other 5 for next week. So what I created in this book was what I call the 7 scripts. And there is a series of explorations, meditations, and conversations with yourself to help stimulate and provocate. I don't remember writing some of this. For those of you who are authors, have you ever had that happen where you just keep writing, and then you read back and you go, I don't remember writing any of that. Or, you know, particularly if you're an artist, or you paint or you make jewelry, when you're really in that creative zone and you're suddenly like, where did the time go? I don't remember doing any of that. So I'm going to show you the first script. So this is your challenge. This is your, no, I'm not going to call it a challenge. This is your invitation. Your invitation for the next 24 hours, should you choose to engage. And that is, I'm going to show you the picture first because I love this picture. Yeah, let me see. So that picture was created, that's, I was rehearsing a play, and we were in this building that had a little garden outside with little cactus flowers, and one of the actresses put those in her hand and kind of held them up. I went, oh my God, stop, have to go and get my phone and take a photo, because it just looked amazing. And yes, it is stop. So we are being invited to that very energy right at this moment in time. But I'm actually going to talk to you about stopping. Okay. So first of all, I want to share another quote with you from Marianne Williamson, sorry. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence actually liberates others. Isn't that the most precious quote? I just love that. And then my expansion on this, so the stop is actually about that moment of stillness. So let me read to you the guidance is the right word. I was trying to think of the right word. The guidance for you for the 24 hours ahead of finding a moment of stillness. Are you rushing through your life? Are you allowing your busyness to define your life or maintain your identity? What if you gave your permission to stop, gave yourself permission to stop for just 10 seconds? How would that feel? How much more present would you be? Today and every day, gift yourself a moment of stillness. 10 seconds in which you allow yourself to be present with you. So what do you reckon, my friends? Do you think you can do that over the next 24 hours, whenever you feel called to do that? I just got massive goosebumps down my side. Did anybody else feel that? I always love when that happens. To me, it means that I'm on point, if you like. It's like, yep, got it. So my invitation to you is to find time over the next 24 hours to stop. Give yourself 10 seconds of stillness. Stop what you're doing and just be with yourself. Allow yourself to be present with you. Because when we allow ourselves to be present, we become more visible. Our authenticity shines. We become more aware of how we can move through the world in a way that was different to before. And that is what the world is asking for of us right at this moment. So I hope you've enjoyed that little exploration today of everyday, I'll turn the book around, everyday presence. So tomorrow I'm going to share the second script, okay, and give you a few more insights around what I feel might help you at this very interesting, encompasses pretty much all of it, doesn't it, at this very interesting time. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have anything that you would like me to talk about, or even if you have a question right now, feel free to comment in the chat, or if you have any comment about how you felt with what you heard from me today. I love engagement. I would love you to share something. And If you were on the call yesterday, I apologize for stopping it quite so abruptly. I realized I didn't give you time to like debrief afterwards. So I'm going to do that today and stay online for a little while. So is there something that is there a way that I can contribute to you? Is there something you'd like to ask, or even a reflection of how you're feeling right now? Please share in the chat. Truth bombs. Thank you, Jan. I love that. Truth bombs. Maybe that's what I should call this. Truth bombs. I love it. I hope you're keeping well up there in the glorious environment of Hervey Bay, and that you're staying calm and healthy as well. So anyone else have any comments or anything that you would like to share, or something that I might be able to help you with right now? And I have my coffee, so I'm going to have a mouthful. I will just check to see if there's anything. Oh, Chriselle, you mentioned that you love the idea of being still and you do it every morning for an hour. How beautiful. Yeah. And I know there's some of you that do yoga. You know, yoga is a great practice of stillness as well. Yeah. If we don't have patience, we're going to have to learn that real fast. Okay, so hi Belinda, I'm just finishing off and asking everyone how they're going, and is there anything that I can help with at this moment? Is there something that you'd like to ask, or even something you'd like to share, something that you found has been really lovely for you, or you know, a way that you've created some joy for yourself? I know that you've been chalking your driveway, which is pretty awesome. I love that. And Tara, hello. So what questions, if any, do you have for me? Or do you just want me to keep speaking? I mean, I know it's kind of a monologue at the moment, but that's your comments are lovely, and I really appreciate reading them. You've been standing, Belinda. Good morning, Tara. Lovely to see you. Isn't this awesome? We've connected twice in 2 days, and like, oh, I'm on a kneeling chair, and it's a little bit awkward sometimes. We've been connected twice in 2 days, and that's it. I love that. It's fabulous. And Belinda, standing on the grass each morning to get grounded, what a great idea. I love that. And so that's a great way so what I shared was having a 10-second pause through the day. So that's what I call a moment of stillness, and taking that moment to just allow yourself to be present with what is, and to just breathe, and to just really, you know, be aware of everything around you, like the depending on where the grass is, but you know, your neighborhood, the trees, the grass and the flowers and the butterflies and the birds, all of that. You know, nature is still going about doing her thing. So I think standing on grass is a great way to get grounded. So well done you. It's something that I need to practice more of. We have we have a big yard, but it is just grass at the moment because we've had rain. And for me, feeding our local birds is a really beautiful moment of getting grounded, because we have magpies and kookaburras and little butcher birds that come in, and then we feed the galahs in the evening, and cockatoos and anything else, and the local scrub turkeys, of course, because they all hover. So it's really nice to have that nature connection, I think, as well. And if you can do that, even doing some gardening or something like that is a beautiful way to create that moment of stillness. Tracy, thank you so much. Yeah, look, there are many people who are helping to keep things in perspective and to remain calm, and it's one of the ways that I have felt that I can make a really big contribution in that way at the moment. And I think if we are all still, if we are all present, we will find the ways in which we can contribute to the world at large will show up. Because we'll have quiet. Our brains will stop going scurry, and those creative ideas will pop in. And I think that was one of the reasons that I wanted to actually share about presence, about being present, because we can become so creative when we are in that space, when we're willing to just allow things to show up. And even by talking with you all today about this book, even by sharing some of the quotes in it and talking through what that means for me and how it might pertain to you and your lives, I'm getting more insight. Like, I'm getting more insight as how that relates to me right now. You know, and as I said, I wrote this book 5 years ago. So, you know, I'm not a futurist or anything. So, but we all have that capacity to be creative. For some of us, that creation will look really different. I remember one of the conversations early in the week, somebody was saying that, you know, I'm creative by collaborating with others. So finding ways to collaborate with others online will actually be really important for that person. And as they're an extrovert, it becomes even more important to find ways to have face-to-face communication like this, to be talking with each other and to maybe say, well, what can we do? You know, I just saw something in my Facebook feed this morning, which I just loved. And it was, I can't remember quite the name of it. It was something like, Choir on the Lounge, and they must have had 100 people on a Zoom and 2 choir leaders in the middle of the picture, and they're all singing together. So it's a choir, but they're all joining in from home. And like, what a beautiful idea. I have a friend in Thailand, and they've been in lockdown for, and kids home from school and everything for a week. And so their music teachers teach online, and the kids are in their home and they're doing their guitar or whatever it is that they're doing for their music. They're doing it with the teacher on live streaming. You know, there's so many ways that we can find ways to really connect in with each other, and to couch choir. Is that what it was called? Awesome. Thank you. Go and check them out. I thought that was fabulous, like couch choir. Wouldn't it be fun to do that? Like, to create your own couch something, like, whatever that might be. It might be couch painting, although that could be a bit tricky, particularly if you have kids involved. They might paint the actual couch. But, you know, like if you have a creative practice that you would normally do in isolation, why not invite people to come and collaborate with you and say, well, you create this piece and I'll create that. In fact, I even mentioned this, I think, earlier this week, you know, the whole thing about artist cards, where traditionally they paint like a little playing card size, and then they post it to the next person on the list. Now, you can't post, but you can virtually send it to someone, and then they can create using your card, you know. So there's lots of ways that we can be really clever. So I really do invite you today. Oh, that's really cool. So a lot of them are doing virtual solutions, Lexi. That's really awesome. Oh yeah. Okay, so how did you find that experience? Did you find it engaging to do it the way that you did? I'd love to know. That's really cool. So, you know, I'm inviting you, and even for those of you, because I can just hear it, I can just hear it in my head, right? There's a few of you going, oh, but I'm not a creative type. I'm going to call bullshit on that one, okay? Because we are all creative. We may just not have found the way in which we express our creativity, okay? You don't need to be overtly like theatrical or looking creative or whatever in order to be creative. You might be really creative in the way that you are just amazing at having conversations and connecting with people. You know, so your creativity is not going to look like mine. So, you know, don't get yourself caught up on, oh, but I don't sing, I don't paint, I don't draw, I can't write poetry, I can't photograph. Maybe you're like amazing at making up recipes. Like, I have to follow a recipe. Like, I can't make things up out of my head. There are some people who like are just amazing at that kind of stuff. You know, our creativity is always going to show up in different ways. So I would encourage you to consider how in those moments of stillness, ask for how you can express yourself creatively to show up. Wouldn't that be fun? Yes, absolutely. And I'm the artistic director. Yeah, well, I'll have fun with that. Yeah, absolutely, I can do that. Been there, done that, and really, really happy to do it again. So tomorrow I'm going to share a little bit more of Everyday Presence. I keep holding up the ball. It is real. Everyday Presence and the second script. So just a reminder, okay, that over the next 24 hours, your invitation is to take time, 10 seconds, to allow yourself to be still, and just using your awareness, just drop in whatever needs to drop in, whatever information is waiting for you to just calm down and focus and be present with yourself. So, my dear friends, thank you so much for dropping in. It's delightful to have your company. I really, really appreciate you joining me. So I'll be back online. Probably, I have an appointment at 10 in the morning, but it will be finished at 11. So I'll be online again tomorrow. I'm going to try and make it pretty much 11 o'clock every weekday morning so that you have some continuity. I may do one or two at night because I know that we have some friends overseas who like to join in. And so depending on time zones, I might just shift that around, but I'll give you notice. I do hope you'll come and join me again tomorrow. And if you have a question or if you have anything that you would like me to talk about, if it's something that I feel that I can contribute, I will certainly do that. Or even if you have a question about something that maybe I can go and find out for you, really happy to do that too, because that to me is a way that I can keep you all connected, not only with me, but with each other and with the greater community, because we are all in this together. So I invite you to join me again tomorrow at 11 a.m. and go peacefully through your day. Okay, much love. Namaste. See you at 11 tomorrow. Bye for now.